Right. 228. So, welcome to the Mython Masterclass, live masterclass. It it may be extended for next 2 to 3 hours. So, if you get if you got stuck at any moment for any kind of error or something else, you can just go to previous also. In the This is a live and it is a recording. It's a recording, so where you can just go to anywhere at any timestamp during the entire live, and after the completion of the live, it will be as a YouTube recording. You can go through for your reference. Let me. I have total 6 modules with me, like introduction, and then data types, like operators, and then what we call data structures like list, tuple, set, dictionary, and then control statements, loops, like advanced concepts like file handling, and then I have OOPS concepts also and the exception handling. I divided my today's entire life cycle into total 6 modules. So I'll just go module by module. So let me just start with my first module, like introduction to Python. This is very important. I'll cover both theory part as well as syntax and as well as like the programs also clearly, like my previous live classes. I have done total 2 live classes till now as part of full stack web development series. The first one is Git Live Masterclass, and the second one is SQL Master Live class. Right, this is my third live class. Apart from that, I have done total 5 episodes in the full stack development series and the 5 mock sessions. So the 5 episodes will be continued. The next session will be on the basic portfolio website design with the GitHub or any other hosting platform, followed by React Spring Boot concepts. Like I'll follow my roadmap clearly. Please follow my Instagram channel also, where you can see all the updates related to the content. YouTube is where you're going to see the video recordings, but Instagram where you can see all the updates, right? So please follow both the uh, Instagram channel as well as the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. So Python, yeah, you already know that Python is a high level interpreted 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 and compiler. Interpreted is something like the line checking. I mean, the the compiler will do checking all the lines at a time, whereas interpreter will do line by line. So line by line, for example, even if you have, for example, 100 lines of code, you got error at some lines, but it will not show you the all the lines. It will show you line by line, so you need to fix the or debug the errors like line by line only. Then only remaining lines errors will be displayed. So interpreted and general purpose language, general purpose language, and of course object oriented. Oops, and of course it is a open source free programming language. As like my previous notebook, like Git and Java masterclass, like I'll post the notes also of this Python master live class in my Instagram channel. So if you want, you can just maintain the notes along with me parallelly, or like at least a few important points remaining. You can just get it my notes, which I'm going to post after the class, not immediately. Like it'll take some time because I'll do all the formats, everything, and I'll post as a PDF file, like my Java notes and Git notes. You can find those notes in my Instagram channel. Language developed to build applications quickly with simple and readable syntax. Python more focus on or emphasizes on code readability. So you can the code is very this code is very readable and you can easily understand. That's why it is more of like readability, and because it's a user friendly and allowing developers to write fewer lines of code compared to many other programming language. History of Python. Python was created, developed by Guido van Rossum. Guido, Guido van Rossum. Development started in 1989. First public release, first public release in 1991. First public release in 1991. Right. Python was named after the British comedy show, a television show called as Monty Python's Flying Circus. It was not named after so Python. Of course, Python is one of the snake, but it is not. It was not named after the snake, but it was named after the one of the a comedy show, which is Monty Python's Flying Circus. If anyone asks like why Python, I can say suppose I want to develop projects like as or applications like banking software or student management system or hospital management system or some e-commerce website or some kind of a AI chatbot or some kind of a face recognition system or kind of a emotion detection system. So based on my face, like emotion should be detected, and then based on emotion, the songs should be played automatically. Like these kind of softwares I want to develop using this Python. So Python already provides the best part of Python is its libraries. Python contains plenty number of libraries where you can use them directly to perform a specific task. Powerful libraries and frameworks reducing development time. In normal languages, like if you want to perform any task, we need to write lot of lines of code. But Python is something like multiple developers have already uh, developed the code and they are just pushing the code that as a simple library. So we can just directly import that library in our project, right? So that we can use it. So you don't need to write the code separately. That's the best part of Python. Features, features of Python. First one is simple. Next one is easy to learn. Simple is something like it's a high level language. So English like language. That's why simple. High level language. Fourth point is interpreted language. Plat- Platform independent. That means the Python programs can run on Windows platform, Linux platform, or Mac OS also without changing the code. You don't need to change the code based on the platform. You can just run the Python program wherever you want. Next one is portable. What are the program you have written in the Windows system that you can run on the other systems also? That is called as portable. Object oriented, like classes, objects. inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. And it is extensible, or we call it as integrated also, or we call it as embedded language. Embedded, extensible, or integrated, I can say. That means Python can be integrated or embedded with or extensible with. You can just integrate Python with C or C++ or Java. I'll just use this embedded feature like for my next future instead of just writing directly here. Extensible and integrated is fine. The ninth one is embedded, embeddable. Python can be embedded inside other softwares also. Like example, we have a softwares like Blender software. We have some softwares like Autodesk. There are multiple softwares where we can embed the Python into that software. And as I said, while we're talking about why Python, it contains large standard large standard library. There are many modules we have. It comes with some plenty number of like several built-in libraries we have. There are two types of libraries or modules, I can say. So one is built-in, next one is user-defined. Built-in means already there, you're going to use them directly by importing it. User-defined means user or developer is going to create its own customized module. So these are the 10 features we have. The first one is simple. That means simple and easy to understand, I can say. Simple and easy to understand. Easy to learn, like it's like a English like statements. High level language because high level language is something like we no need to manage the memory manually. Python will prefer two types of memories, memory allocation one, and second one is garbage language. And as I said, interpreted language is line by line. As I said, for example, 100 lines of code is there. For example, you have errors at some lines. Instead of showing errors at all lines, it will show line by line. You need to fix that line by line, then only remaining errors will be displayed. So these are the different features we have. And let me talk about the applications of Python, very important. Web development. So you can use Python for web development, like for frameworks like Django, Flask, Fast API. These are the middleware technologies, or we call it as a backend technologies. Backend. It will be used in full stack development, front end, back end, and database. Next one is AI. In AI applications, we can use like ChatGPT mostly. Okay, like response. I mean, whenever you give prompt, the prompt will be processed by using NLP or different models, and then the response will be sent to the client. The next one is image recognition. Like for example, I'll capture the image. We need to tell which object it is. Like there's several projects we have. And then we have speech recognition. I think nowadays people are not typing anything. They're whenever they want to give any prompt or whenever they want to search something, they are just giving through microphone, and that whatever you are speaking using that microphone, that entire text. I mean, whatever you spoke, that will be converted to the a speech or the text automatically, right? Where we are using what we call some kind of libraries like mainly we have to focus on like TensorFlow. TensorFlow is for like more of like deep learning. Like first one will be artificial intelligence. Branch of AI is like ML and ML, and then we have a deep learning. Some people will use a software called as PyTorch also, right? So before kind of getting into one important point that whatever the applications that you're doing in AI or machine learning or deep learning or chat GPT or agentic anything, Python is the foundation step for anything. So that's why, as I said in my intro of my channel Web Sadhana Samyoga, it's not only focused on full stack development. That is only one track only. We are going to focus on the contemporary technologies. That is what we call Gen AI, agentic AI, and followed by DevOps, everything, right? So there are multiple parallel tracks will be running in this channel. So you focus accordingly. So for every update, please follow the Instagram channel and of course the YouTube channel, right? The third one is third application of Python is machine learning, as I said, machine learning. The application like machine learning is like more of a rule-based system, right? So recommendation systems we can use, like for example, uh, I'm searching for a products in e-commerce, like based on the reviews, based on the what we call likes and dislikes, the products will be recommended, right? Like next one is fraud detection. Next one is spam detection, like spam links and everything, spam websites, and predictive analysis like weather prediction or temperature prediction or uh, like rain prediction, everything. Predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is more of like stocks and like stocks, every day, like from 9 to 4, the stocks will be open based on the past and present. It'll just what we call predict the future prices of that stock so that people will invest accordingly. Some libraries we can use here in this area, like the predicts what we call machine learning and all. Like the libraries are something like SCI Kit Learn, one library, and other one is again TensorFlow. The fourth one is of course, the very important application is data science. So data science is more of it's like it deals with the data. Like we are going to take the data, we need to pre-process it to remove all the missing values, everything. And then after that, whatever the data is there, that we are going to feed it to the model. So it will train and it will test and it will just give this some analysis, right? So that is part of the data. Data science is more of what we call data relation thing, like analysis and all. Machine learning is more of like rule based, like prediction part, like that. So like machine learning is part of data science, I can say. Data science is more of deals with the data and the analysis and the graph representation or histograms, everything. And the libraries that we are using here is we have some libraries like NumPy, everyone knows that, and we have libraries like Pandas, and some libraries like Matplotlib library where we can just draw diagram. I mean, kind of a graphs, everything with the x-axis and y-axis and all. So the applications in the data science are, as I said, like we can just figure what we call focus on the dashboards with all the graphs, everything, and then reports and some analysis of the data also, right? And we can do some automation also using Python, so email automation or Excel automation, or we can do a web scraping. For example, using some of the libraries in Python, we can do web scraping where if I give lead code or code chef or hacker rank, hacker platforms, when I give the usernames to that my Python program, automatically all their profiles, how many kind of how many challenges they solved under the points, everything we can scrap, but web scrapping is not legal. There are some websites that are publicly available, we can scrap the data, but not everything. So government websites or some kind of official websites, we can't scrap the data directly, we have to take permission, right? So as I said, like email automation and Excel automation and something like web scrapping and report generation also we can do automatically, no need to do any kind of manual process in using Excel and all. And the next one is desktop applications. So the libraries are something like, we have some libraries in the Python where we can just develop the desktop applications also. Those are, those are PyQt. And the next one is Kinter, T silent, Kinter. And the next one is cybersecurity platform also we can use, like ethical hacking. We can just do penetration testing also, whether you develop the website, we have to test whether any hacker can hack your website or not. That is very important. It's not just about developing the website. That's why even though the AI is getting evolved day by day, it's not about the development of the of application. It's not about the coding you have done. It's about how much security you just implemented in your application. That is very important. if there are any security leaks or data leaks in your application, so that is not going to be used by any user. So it is important to have a complete kind of organized security layer in your application so that no hacker hacks your data or steal your data from the application. So ethical hacking, and next one is penetration testing, and what we call network scanning. And we can use in cloud computing also, like in AWS, everything under software as service. We can use Python programming language to develop the applications, and we can integrate with other service also. And we can use for IoT, Internet of Things. The next one is advantages. As I mentioned in my features, easy to learn, easy to read. It's free and open source. You can directly download and you can use the program. And it is cross platform. Like what are the if you develop the Python program for one platform, you can run it in other platforms also. That is called as cross platform. And as I mentioned, other part is we have a we have a large community support for Python. You can ask your doubts and you can get the answers from the other developers also. And the next one is a large standard library, a built-in library where other developers have already developed the programs, and they included everything into one module, and they pushed into kind of a community where we can directly download by using pip command. Pip space install space the package name, and it is object oriented, and of course faster development because less code, and excellent for beginners who those who want to start their career with the programming language. I recommend them to go to either Java or Python. My first preference will be Python because nowadays without Python, AI is not there. I mean, we can develop application using other programming language also, but other programming language contains like less number of libraries. So, but Python contains large number of libraries. And less code also, like, and high productivity because within less time we can develop the application, right? So as I mentioned, if I just talk about so let's just getting into Python installation. So Python first version, as I said, 1989. They developed the first release in 1991. 1991, 1991, as I mentioned. So let me just mention Python first release. We need to talk about the first release only. First release in 1991, right? And I think the latest version is 3.14, 3.14, sorry, 3.14. Perfect, 3.14. So let's install Python. So how to install it? Python download. Please type Python download. Download Python. So let me put this link in the chat. Right, download. So the latest version of Python is 3.14, 3.14, 14.6. Click on download install manager. If you want to download for Linux, you can just click on Linux or Mac OS or Android. Some people will get options like this also. If you are getting this kind of a page, for example, then no need to worry about this. You directly go to this download window installer 64-bit if you are getting this page like this. This is 3.3.1 and 3.14. June 10th, 2026. Okay, most of the version, I think you got some versions on the same day. So Windows installer 64-bit you need to click on. Okay, right. So let me directly click on here. Sir, I already have previous versions like 3.12, 11. Can I go ahead with that? Yes, you can. So let me save the software. Let me save the software. So It is downloaded. Let me install. Install Python. Yes. Python install manager. Yes. Yes. It is asking me to add the path variable. Yes, I want to add. Install C Python. C Python is something like a Python language which is written in C. If you want, you can. Otherwise, you can skip. I'm just installing. Yes. Yes. Right. Some people, those who get like this, let me just show that part also. For example, if they are if they are getting this kind of page, so just click on Python 3.14.4, download Windows installer. Yeah. I think my suggestion is you go with the Python Windows installer only 3.14.6 better instead of, because Python installation manager is it is not going to give you the all the packages. So go with Python 3.14.6. Save this one. So I'm done. Let me install this. It is the previous one is only Python manager only. It is a complete installer, Windows installer. Run. Here we have options like you just need to click on use admin privileges, add Python DX to path variables under environment variables. Never ever don't click on install now. Please click on customize option and select all the options. Next, you select all the options. Very important. People will just click on next, next, next. No. In future, in the web application and all, Django in everything, like you get errors. Like some commands will not be recognized. So use customize installation so that you can select all the options. The setup is in progress. So you can choose Linux, Mac, for example, Mac OS. So they'll just click on the corresponding. So latest this file will be some their file will be like DMG and Linux and all. I think Py, Linux Mac OS users they can directly install Python using sudo hyphen apt commands or brew commands directly. Window only they need to download exe file separately like this. Okay. Uh, don't only confine your installation to with the Python installation manager. You need to like get a standalone installer. You can just click on this one also. Like we already installed by clicking on window, or you can click on this. But don't go with only this option. Okay. The setup is in progress. So it is showing the active Python release. So now we are in 2026. Almost up to 3.9, everything is deprecated. Now from 3.10 onwards, 3.15 not yet released. It is pre-release only. It is about to release. So 3.14 is the latest version. Right. If you don't select all options, the problem will be this pre-compiling standard library. Like some of the libraries will not be installed. You'll get a problem in future. So you need to click on customize installation, then select every option. If any option is not highlighted, you can skip, no problem. Some of the options you can't able to check or uncheck, no problem, you can skip. Right. Perfect. It is done. The installation is done. The installation, the website, I think I already posted in the group, and let me just post here also. Perfect. So we need to select a Python installer. Like, let me just check the installation, I mean, the version now. Just open command prompt. Here you type Python space hyphen hyphen version. So Python 3.14.6 is the latest version. Or some people will use like this also, Python 3 version. Like anything is okay. Right. And the next one is how to open Python interpreter. So just open command prompt and just type Python. So this is something like opening Python, but line by line code you have to write. For example, like if I type Python, so you'll get like this, that that greater. So this is I can say Python interpreter mode. So you need to type Python, you'll get like this. It indicates that the Python interpreter is ready to execute commands. One line by line only. Interpreter means line by line only. You can't write, for example, if I just want to write 5 lines at a time, you can't write. You have to save it in a file. I mean, you have to write it in a file and save it as filename.py. Okay. And the next one is interactive mode. Interactive mode is something like we can say ideally. So you have to use ideal, open ideally. So, sir, what is ideally? Ideally stands for integrated development and learning environment. Ideal. So you can just type, for example, even in the command prompt also like 10 plus 20. This is a command prompt, 10 plus 20 you can type. And in Python, if you want to print anything, we use a print command, print of welcome, like this. But one by one, line by line, we can execute. Let me just come to ideally here. Let me just increase the font size. Uh, Options, configure ideally. Okay. We can still increase the size, right? So here also you can just type as well whatever you have done in the 10, 30 minus 20, a print of hello, hello. You can just type like this. Perfect. Advantages. Advantages of Python will be immediate feedback, useful for learning. So you can see clearly the error, very understandable, user friendly, and it is ideal for testing purpose also. Next one is script mode. So if you want to write multiple lines of code, then we need to save the file as file name dot py. Py is nothing but Python. Right. So for example, what I'll do is like, let me create a new folder, Python programs. So I'll go to this ideally, go to file, go to new file. Here, let me save the file. Go to file and save as. Let me save it in Python program so that all files will be saved in one folder only. My first file is demo. Save as files, for example, already Python files is there. If it is all files, for example, then you need to give demo.py. Okay, demo.py. So my first program will be how to print, how to print how to print output, or we can say how to demo use output statement in Python. Output statement. Instead of using, yeah, how to use demo program. So print is the function we have to use. Print. So my first double quotes, that is a string message. Welcome to Python. That is my first statement. The next statement will be print of Python live masterclass. If you want, you guys can use online compiler also. I'll show you that path. For example, if you have any issues with installation and all, just go to online Python compiler and click on this first link. Now, directly, what are the lines we have? Like two lines which I just typed here. Here, you copy this and Control V, click on run. Right. It is a one important point in Python. If I just talk about comments in Python, for example, like single line comment, single line and multi-line. Single line comment is like a hash, and multi-line comments is something like, for example, I just want to comment three lines like this. So people will use individually hash like this, but instead we can use slash three triple quotes we have to three quotes we have to use like this, end like this. Right. So this is the multi-line comment. Can we try with three single quotes? It's not possible. It is possible. Yeah. Three single quotes better. Right. End and this is start and end. End means like third line after fourth line of like this multi-line. Perfect. Let me remove everything. Only one command is enough. Hash. In Java we have to use like this, but in Python it is hash. Let's run this. Go to run. Click on run module. So the output will be printed like this. No, I'll go with ideally only. If you want, you can just go with VS Code. That's up to you because it is a beginner live class. So, people will use multiple IDEs. Some people will use Eclipse also. Some people will use what we call VS Code. Some people will use command prompt and all. So, whatever the coding, I'll show you VS Code maybe in the middle of the session. But I'll meanwhile first 1 hour, like 1.5 hour, I'll go with ideally only. I'll create files individually. If you want, you can just create the file in the what we call. Uh, uh, you can just directly go with VS Code where you can create files in the left hand side, and then you can run by using py space file name dot py. I'll show you like if I don't want to go directly with the commands and all, it is a beginner to advanced class. So please follow. I'll follow my roadmap clearly. So kindly follow it, that path only. Like don't deviate. Right. So this is the first basic program, like where the best basic program, how to use output statement in Python, right? So whatever the lines that we are in that are in comments, we can't execute them, right? We can't execute them. I can say the lines which are in comments are called as passive code that can't be executed. Okay. The lines which are not in comments will be executed. Like the executed code may or may not have errors. For example, let me put any error here. So run run module. So I got one error as name error. This is error name. Print print is not defined. Did you mean print? Okay, it is correctly. It is showing error clearly. That is immediate feedback. For example, if you have two errors, for example, okay, you save the file automatically. I mean, this file will not be saved automatically in this ideally. So go to file, save, or use Control S. Very important. Control S. Okay. Click on go to run module. So it is showing error only for line 4 only. Let me count the lines. Line 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, fourth line. This is the fourth line. After fixing this error only, it will go to next one. Run. Yeah, this is the line file. So line by line. Line by line is nothing but what? Interpreter. Python is an interpreter language. The error checking will be done line by line. Compiler will be error checking will be done for the whole code. It will give you gist of errors at once. That is the difference. And so let me just change the line of, I mean, the statement of third line. Third line, I can just go with the full stack development, run module. I have a error at print. So let me just use print is a statement in Python to print something, variable or something, whatever. We didn't start it. We didn't talk about variables and all. This is only a basic program to print a message. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Let me close this because not used. If I close this, ideally the previous history will be deleted and then you can run it from scratch, from beginning like this. Perfect. So I save the file with the demo.py. Okay. I created a folder called as Python programs. Okay. So this is my folder, Python programs. My first file is there, demo.py. Please save the files properly, right? I mean, eventually we'll use other IDs also, but let me start with the Python ideally. I mean, you guys can use Python. Some people will use IntelliJ. You can configure in Eclipse also, like Python interpreter. Like you can use any IDE. It's up to you can use online IDE as I said directly. Okay, that's up to you, right? People will use different IDEs. So IDE is not restricted. The code is important. So my first Py, uh, my first Python program. I'm done with my Python program. I want you to know how a Python executes. Python executes a program. First of all, Python source code file will be saved in a .py, and then whenever you run the file, I mean, there are two types: uh, compilation and interpretation. Here, the compiler is interpreter, line by line checking. So Python interpreter will be there. That Python interpreter will convert the high level language .py code into bytecode. Bytecode. That bytecode is called as .pyc. I repeat once again, .pyc code. .pyc code. And that .pyc code will run in any mission by using Python virtual mission. We call it as PVM. Like a JVM, we have a PVM, and the output will be displayed to the user. So in the Java also, like in the Java also we have it is not directly going to give you object code uh, from source code. So the Java compiler will generate bytecode. That bytecode will convert into object code. Then it will be executed in the mission. right? That is the process. And even in the Python also, like what are the source code you are giving, like the Python file, 10 lines or 100 lines or 1000 lines, that Python file will be converted into bytecode PYC. The PYC we call as a compiled bytecode. Compiled by, so C is like a bytecode. It is an intermediate code, like intermediate code. So that's why it is Python is a platform independent, because whatever the bytecode is there, it is not confined to a specific operating system or specific processor, uh, like specific operating system or specific processor. So bytecode is not a kind of a final executable code. It is an intermediate programming code. You can just watch JVM Java masterclass also. I clearly explain what exactly the bytecode and what exactly the executable code, right? So I can say one important point, that what exactly this PYC contains. This PYC holds bytecode, binary bytecode that the PVM, Python Virtual Machine, can execute directly, bypassing bypassing the need to repass and compile the raw code every time. So as I said, like something like bytecode is not a intermediate code. Bytecode is an intermediate code, so it is not limited to a specific operating system. PVM, wherever the laptop, like Windows laptop or Mac OS laptop or Linux laptop, if it contains PVM, Python Virtual Machine, of course the Python software, that will run that bytecode and executes it, and you can get the output. So that is it will achieve the feature called as I said, like platform independent, right? So we have done with the first program, which is what we call how to execute a first file by saving a file name with .py extension, and I've shown you the execution flow, source code, and then interpreter will convert the high-level language into bytecode, not object code. Object code is also called as machine understandable code, but machine bytecode is not a machine understandable code. It is an intermediate code. So it can run on any machine by using Python virtual machine. Now let's start with the continuation of this. So we done with introduction to Python. We have done with the introduction, like advantages, features, why Python, applications, and we installed Python successfully. We have done with the first what we call program also. First program is simple, like how to print a simple string message using a statement called as a print statement, right? Continuation. Let's talk about the Python syntax. Very important. Syntax is very important. So like syntax is nothing but syntax refers to the set of rules that define how Python programs should be written. So without syntax, we can't proceed with the language. Even for the English or Telugu, any kind of language, there is a grammar or a syntax. So we need to follow. So if you don't follow any syntax in the Python, you will get a kind of error. It generates an error called as syntax error, right? Syntax error. Basic syntax rules in Python. I'm talking about Python programming language. Don't ask me what is programming language. If you ask me what is programming language is nothing but it's a intermediate part, which is to a user want to talk with computer. So the basic thing is for programming language. It's a intermediate part between user and the computer. Like statements are written statements are written line by line. That is very important. Next one, Python is case sensitive. If it is a small letter, we have to use like a small letter only. If it is capital letter, use as a capital letter. Don't change for your convenience. And whenever you just want to write a block, for example, identify it using indentation spaces. What is indentation? For example, if a greater than b, I just want to write condition like this. If a greater than b, in other programming language, we'll write a block like this, else. But there is no block concept in the Python. Instead, we have a statement concept. Here, one statement, HTMT1. Here, the statement 2 is there. If a greater than b is true, HTMT1 will be executed. If a less than b, then HTMT2 will be executed. This is the normal programming language like C, C++, Java. But in Python, if you want to write blocks, if of a greater than b, you need to write this braces also. That's up to you. You need to write a colon here. Colon is nothing but to start the block, start the and when you go to enter next line, you can't start immediately at the first space. You need to give four indentation spaces. One, two, three, four. Four indentation spaces. Sir, it is four is fixed. Yes, it is fixed for all the IDEs. If you want to change, you can change in your IDE. But for uh, all the compilers like online compilers, everything and all, the indentation space is 4. But in your IDEs, specifically in the settings, you can change what we call indentation spaces. I'll show you that part also. Like here in this configure IDE, highlights, keys, windows, options. One second. Here the indentation spaces we got, here it is like 4 in standard. If you want, you can change, but 4 is the minimum. This is common for all the IDEs, all the interpreters. So let's go with 4 only. So 4 spaces HTMT1. And again, next else syntax will be along with if syntax. So else colon, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces HTMT 2 like this. So we'll discuss clearly when we start control statements, functions, and all. But I'm just talking about as I'm talking about the syntax of Python. That's why I focused about indentations. Indentations means spaces, 4 spaces minimum. And the next syntax rule is no semicolon required. In uh, in every almost in every programming language, if you want to end any statement, people will write semicolon and some people will write colon. But here, no need to write semicolon in what we call in Python. Semicolon is not required. And other very important point is variables. Variables, some people will call it as identifiers also, don't require type declaration. In Python, we are not very important note point in Python we never declare a variable using any data type. Instead instead we define a variable. So like in Python and JavaScript, not TypeScript, JavaScript, we never use int a is equal to 2. So this statement is not possible in the Python. This is wrong. So we have to give only just a is equal to 2 only. Semicolon is not required. That's why in the first statement I declared a variable, but in Python it is wrong. You can't use any data type. Automatically, the type of the variable, very important note point, the type of variable A will be decided at runtime, after execution, runtime. That's why Python is called as dynamically interpreted language, dynamically, dynamically typed language, because your type of the variable will be checked at runtime, because you're not deciding whether it is integer or string during the compile time. It will be decided at runtime. A is equal to 2, it is number. A is equals to some KLU double quotes or A is equal to Python double quotes, which is a string. So the type will be checked at runtime. So these are the four important rules. The first one is statements are written line by line. Python is case sensitive. No semicolon required. And variables is something like 1 second. Am I audible now? I think I'm getting my voice actually. I think this is a problem with you. Can I have response from other members instead of only single person? Yeah, I think I'm getting my voice clearly. Just checking your side, Venkatesh. Can I get at least response from others like other than Venkatesh? Yeah, thank you, Teja. Thank you so much. Thank you, and your I mean you're active. Thank you, you're active that you're letting me know whether I'm audible or not. Thank you so much, Navadeep. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So Python is a dynamically typed language. What is dynamically typed? I'll tell you clearly when I start executing the programs, but I'm just giving you overview because at as I'm talking about like these variables, identifiers and all, that's why I given you a note point, very important point. This is very important. People interviewer will ask what type of Python, what type of language Python is. You'll directly say you directly say it's a dynamically typed language because the decision of the type of the variable, whether it is number or string, will be decided at runtime. Okay, fine. Let's ask a few questions. Can anyone tell me what when was the first release of the Python? When was first Python version will be released? First Python version. There are 2 years, but I was asking about the first release, official version year. Year. I mentioned in my notepad also. Like don't use any kind of Google or Chat GPT. Just try to answer. There is a year where I mentioned first release version, 1991. Thank you. Perfect. Is it is it important to use semicolon in the Python? Is it important to use semicolon in the Python whenever I write the code? No. So I was talking about the comments because we are getting into the what we call the actual programs topic wise. So let me highlight the comments also. Comments generally used to explain the code. Every programming language, not only Python, whenever you put any lines in the comments, it will be what we call uh, ignored while the execution. So as I said, like there are two types of comments. The first one is single line comment. The next one is multi-line comment. Multi-line comments or single line comments. Single line is for single line only, of course, as name suggests, like hash. Multi-line is like you can use three some code here and end, and you guys can use three double quotes also. Three double quotes. Yeah, anything is okay. Both are okay. Generally, triple quoted strings will be used. You guys can use three single quotes or three double quotes also, but most of the members will prefer this. Of course, Navadeep. Yeah, of course. Whatever the lines that you want to execute, it should be. For example, there are 100 lines of code. I want to skip some lines, so you just put that in comments. Okay. I can't answer all questions while I'm demonstrating. So sorry for that. I'll check the messages for every half an hour like that. If I if I try to answer your questions one by one, I can't proceed with the other concepts. So sorry for that. So right, I'll give a time to post your queries, then I'll answer. Right. So either you guys can use three, as I mentioned clearly here, like same in the demo file. Let me just put another line. Where is my file actually? Yeah. After the three lines, for example, I can use single. Let me write student details as one line. Python master class second line. Next one is full stack development third line. So three lines like that, right? If I execute this directly, what will happen? Can anyone tell me one answer? Like first three lines are executed. Last three lines are like normal lines. Are they be going to executed or these three the last three lines will be considered as a programming statements or just like a lines? What exactly will happen if I execute? Can I get an answer? If I execute, Python will recognize these three as a syntactical errors because these three are doesn't contain any keywords because these three are not programming statements, right? So it will be kind of a error. So you'll get some invalid syntax errors, everything, and it is not allowing me to execute. So when you are have a six lines of the code, three lines are executable, three lines are not executable. Put them as a comments. So like you can use a single lines like hash individually like this hash individually or you just use like this. Let me put this. Let me use. Let me put at the beginning. I can use like a hash. Let me close and open this file again. Open file. I think I saved this file in Python programs. Well, yeah, I think there is a glitch previously. You can use single lines comments or you can use multi-lines comments like three single quotes like this. Best option you go with like this also. Better. Right. Put a note point here. I think I'll write the note point in the sometimes people will use three quotes also. So let's go with the three triple quotes only note point. Python doesn't have a dedicated multi-line comment syntax. So there is no specific syntax for the multi-line comments in the Python actually. So but triple quote, as I said, triple quoted strings are commonly used as commonly used as block comments or documentation. So without any I mean any confusion and all, because somewhere some IDEs where three single quotes or some people will use three double quotes also. It's IDE depend also. So in the ideally, what I'll do is like I'll use like three double quotes like this, one, two, three like this, and for single lines comments I'll use hash. Okay, so there is no confusion in it. Okay, but it is ID. Some in some IDEs I could see like three single quotes also will be used as a comments. Okay, if you ask me like why comments, I can say, as I said, those the lines will not be executed if you put it under the comments. Uh, it will explain the program. So I can just uh, read the program carefully. Readability will be improved, and it will explain the logic. For example, I want to write some lines to like this line is for meant for this, that line is for meant for this. I want to explain the program. So you can't write directly such lines, right? So you have to put them under what we call comments. You can just use for debugging purpose also, and it will improve the maintenance also. Whenever anyone opens your file, that the code should be understandable for everyone, not only for the developer who has written the code, for everyone actually, right? The next one is Python tokens. The smallest individual units in Python program, the smallest individual called as tokens. We have different types of tokens. First one is keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, delimiters, or simply separators. These are the different types of tokens we have. Let's talk about, for example, if I mention age is equals to 20. So the tokens are, first age will be considered as one token. Equals is a one token. 20 is a one token. Like age is like a variable. That is a one token. We call it as identifiers. Equals is a operator. Equals operator. 20 is nothing but constant. We call it as literals. Literals means a value, string value or number value, anything. So let's talk about the keywords first. Keywords are also called as reserve words. Keywords are also called as reserve words, are also called as inbuilt words also. Inbuilt words, or some people will call it as predefined also. Every keyword will have some predefined meaning in the Python. I'm talking about Python keywords. Keywords can't be used as keywords can't be used as a variable name because these are the keywords. Keywords are usually only for keyword purpose only. You can't use, for example, there is a keyword called as if. You can't use if keyword for the variable to declare any variable or not, to assign some value. Okay. And even you can't use it for the file name also. That's why I'll not prefer file names as a keywords. You give your own file name, like user defined. Example keywords are if, else, while, if, else, while, for, break, continue, return, class, def, try, except. Catch is there in Java, except is there in Python. Finally, true. In Java, T is small. In Python, T is capital. F capital false. None. None is nothing but nothing is assigned. Import to import the package from 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 a specific set. Import this one. From a larger set. Import specific one. Pass. Pass is something like if you don't want to write anything in the block, then you instead of making it as empty block, use pass. I'll tell you clearly, but I'll just tell you clearly what exactly. Global variable, lambda, match, etc. These are the these are not like different. I mean, these are not only fixed kind of keywords. There are many keywords we have. So during our program, multiple keywords will be used. So these keywords are fixed, and every keyword will have its own meaning. We call it as a predefined meaning. For example, let me Let me just put it as under comments. I don't want to use like, so for example, if I import, as I said, import is a command to import some kind of a package or library. So keyword is a library is there. Okay. Now I want to use keyword, keyword library or a package. Okay. Keyword dot. So there are many functions we have dot. So we have a ease keyword, we have a ease of keyword, we have AW list, we have soft keyword. So keywords list. Let me use keywords list. It will display. So this will display whatever the line I've written. Import command is used to import a specific package or kind of a specific keyword. Displays all Python keywords. Let's see that. All Python keywords. Let's write this line at the beginning of the program so that it is more readable. Okay. Yeah, elif. Yeah, many keywords are there. Like I just mentioned only few, but everything will be used in our upcoming programs in this session. Let's use run button. So these are the all keywords. So whatever you said, elif, everything will be there here. So you can just copy paste and let me put it in. All keywords are there. Everything. Okay. So let's just check the number of keywords also. Let me close this, or we can clear the history also. The next program will be a simple program. I want to display, I want to display how many number of keywords we have, find number of keywords. Import, I've already imported, right? So directly use print of, just close the braces first, very important. Length. Len is nothing but length. Okay, length. You can see the description clearly here. Let me wait. Len. Return the number of items in a container. Okay. Wait. Keywords, keyword dot. Keyword I already imported, right? Dot. Keyword I already imported. I don't want to type actually. Let me just copy paste. Dot. Let's use KY list. Let me run this. 35. The previous program, you guys can do like this also. Import keyword is the first line. The second line is print of line by line. You can write in the like interpreter mode also, but line by line you have to write. If you want to write multiple lines at one place, you have to use file only. Script mode we call it as keyword dot KY list. So like this we can use, right? So never ever go with line by line execution like this. You write everything in single line. That single line must be single, all lines must be saved as a one script. The script name is .py. So very important, right? I think we were talking about the keywords, right? First one, keywords. Next one is identifiers. Identifiers are like maybe variables. You can, I mean, giving a name to something called as identifier, variable, or we can give name to functions, or we can give name to classes, we can give name to objects, we can give name to modules, etc. What are the rules for identifiers? It can't contains letters. It contain can contains letters, and of course we can use digits. Underscore we can use. Underscore we can use. Underscore, and can't begin with digit. You can't begin with digit, but in the middle of the name you can have digit, like from second character onwards, but not at the first position. It can't contain spaces. You can't give spaces. Instead of spaces, you guys can give underscore, underscore. You can't use keywords, I already mentioned, and it is case sensitive. For example, if I give Surya is all small letters, one variable name, you have to use like that only. Okay, case sensitive. These are the rules we have. So what are the valid identifiers? Let me just write some set of valid identifiers. Like student, I can create like this. Student underscore name. If space name, not allowed. Student one allowed, but and underscore marks is enough. What are the invalid identifiers? What are the invalid identifiers? I mean, one student you can't, because at the first place you can't put number, student hyphen. No, you have to use only one special character, which is underscore. None of the other special characters will not be allowed in the identifier name. And then student space name not allowed. Class not allowed because it is a keyword. Next one is literals. These are fixed values assigned directly in a program. Types of literals. As I said, we have numbers, strings, booleans, etc. Numeric literals. The first one is numeric literals. Example, age 25, salary 50,000.76. Okay. In Python, as I said, there is no declaration of the variable. We only assign the value. That means we call it as defining a variable. String literals. Name is equals to double quote Surya. S capital. That is value. Okay. String should be enclosed in double quotes. Boolean literals. Boolean literals. True or false. Flag. T capital true. Status. False. T capital F capital. Special literal. That means I want to mention the variable. I have to use the variable, but none of the value got assigned. In that case, just a value, initial value, like a null. Null we can't use in Python. Instead, people will use none, N-O-N-E, none. That means instead of not even declaring it in the program, value is a variable. There is no, I don't want to assign anything. I want to keep it as nothing. Nothing means none here. Special literal. Next one is variables. A variable is as I said, a variable is a named memory location to store something or to store data, used to store the data. Syntax. We have to write variable name with some value in the Python. Value may be number, string, boolean, or nothing. So let's see here. Name is equals to Surya, age 28, salary 50,000.50. Let me print them. Print of name, print of age, salary of, sorry. Let me repeat again. If you are confused, let me repeat again. You can't use int keyword like this as like C++, Java. Just directly a name of salary. Yeah, yeah, Sai Kumar, you can find out the other YouTube channels for those who are providing data analyst full course and all. Thank you so much. Run module. So I think I can comment the previous programs better. Let me comment everything. Three double quotes so that the previous output will be hidden. Best part. Well, proper. We can restart this shell. Let me run this. Perfect. So we were talking about variable, right? Variable is nothing but a variable is a named memory. So variable may be a class, maybe a function, maybe array. Array is not there. Like we'll use as a list. We'll talk about later clearly. So let's talk about dynamic typing. I already discussed about what is dynamic typing in my introduction. So let me just highlight this. Python automatically determine the type of the variable. As I said, type of a variable at runtime. Runtime is after execution. Runtime. Compile time. Compile time is everyone knows that compilation is something like your high level language will be converted to bytecode or assembly code or compiled. I mean object code like that. Second step will be execution, where after the generation of the bytecode or object code, some languages will directly give you C. C is a programming language, will give you object code directly, but Java and Python will give you uh, bytecode, which is the intermediate code. So let me go to this, and what I'll do is like, let me print the type of the variable. We have a we have one function called as type. I'll use type of type of name. So you can see the type of the name. I think the other syntax is you can use type space also. Age, I think it will work. Either you can use a space or you can use type of salary also. We'll see. Yeah, it should be a space. Type of, not sure. Okay, sorry. I think it is there in the JavaScript, it seems, right? Yeah, type of. JavaScript we can use space also. So so Surya comes under string, under 28 comes under integer, 5000.5 comes under float because decimal point is there. Okay, right. So dynamic typing is nothing but the type checking will be done at runtime. Okay. So we were talking about the dynamic typing, Python. That's why Python is Python is very important interview question also. Dynamically type the language. The type checking will be done at. I'll write one point here. The type checking will be done at runtime. There are two times: compile time and runtime. Runtime compile time is like static typing. Runtime is nothing but dynamic typing. Multiple assignment. Let's talk about multiple assignment. Like assign multiple values in one statement. For example, let's do one thing like as of now, we discussed everything in the IDLE like Python files and all. I think if you want, you can just run this code in the online compiler also, like copy the code and go to any online compiler, Control V, run the file. Let me just check the output. So you'll get the output. So without any further delay, let me just use VS Code from now onwards for the more visibility, as one of the student also suggested. So let me go to File, Open Folder. Let me open Python programs here, select the folder. The best part of using Visual Code is you no need to save the file manually by using Control S. Instead, you guys can save the file automatically by using what we call autosave option. So enable autosave. So let's come to, it is asking me to install Python. So let's go to extensions. Let's type Python in the extensions. If you want, you can, because the suggestions will be displayed. That's up to you if you want to install or not. Let me let me just go to first one. I think whenever you install any extensions, the best part is you check the downloads only. So if you got more downloads, that means it is everyone is using, right? Click on install. It's up to you to use IDE. I'm not confining to any IDE. You guys can use IDLE, like whatever we have done so far. Some people will use command prompt also. Some people will use uh, online compilers also. That's up to them. Let me start using VS Code from now onwards. Right. Let me remove everything. Right. So now, so now, we were talking about multiple assignment, assign multiple values in one statement topic. That is a that is a topic we were talking about. So I'm ensuring that the previous lines are commented. Three triple two. So let me comment. Right. Let me continue with the multiple assignment. The topic is multiple assignment. Let's take three variables like a comma b comma c is equals to 10 comma 20 comma 30. So a value will be 10 and b value will be 20 and c value will be, for example, if I give print of a value a value will be 10, of course. If I give print b, all these additions will be appeared like this because we installed Python extension in the VS Code. It'll make the code very easy. And if I give D, for example, D is not there. Let's check what is the output is. Sir, how to execute this? Do we need to again open ideally? No need. You just go to terminal. How to go to terminal? Go to terminal, use new terminal. So you must be in the Python program, ls, all the files will be displayed. Okay. Now use Python space file name dot py, demo dot py. You guys can use Python or you can use py also. That's up to you. Py. So what is exactly error? D is not defined. What an error, and because D is not defined, right? Yes or no? D is not defined. That's why I got error. For example, if I give D is equal to none, none. So I still want to use D in my program, but nothing is assigned. Now let me check now. Let me clear the screen. Py.demo.py. Perfect. So this is nothing but multiple assignment, multiple assignment. So let's write the example in the in the notepad also for the reference. 10, 20, 30. I hope my voice audible. Yeah. Multiple assignment where there is a next step will be assigning the same value also. Assigning same value. For example, A, B, C, 100. Like instead of keeping multiple values, let's keep A is equal to B is equal to C is equals to 100. Right? Let's go to terminal. Control J is a shortcut to open 100, 100, 100. Okay. Next one is variable swapping. Variable swapping. Let's talk about variable swapping. Variable swapping will be used to swap the variables. Like for example, there are two variables like A is equal to 10 initially, B is equal to 20. So let's keep temp is equal to A initially. I'm taking temporary variable. A value will be saved in temporary variable, and now B value will be saved in B value will be used like 20. B value 20 will be saved in A. The original value of A is now saved in temporary. Perfect. Now now temporary I think temporary variable contains value of A, right? Now it is going to be saved in B. So finally A value and now B value are now got swapped. So print of B. So the answer will be A20, B10. Here is the variable swapping. There are people some use A is equal to A plus B, B is equal to A minus B, A is equal to A minus B. You can use addition, subtraction, or division, multiplication also to swap the variables. So I'm just giving you a simple idea how to swap the variables. There are many mechanisms we have, many mechanisms. But in Python, there is a very important simple step to for the swapping variables. Very important, easy step. You don't need to write the code also. In simply, you can write A comma B is equals to B comma A. Simple, right? So now you print the variables A, B, B, A comma B is equal to B comma A. Uh, Navdeep, I am following some kind of a roadmap clearly. You are not even like waiting for my next part steps. So this is a one way only. So there are a lot of things to discuss in this entire master class. I hope you will not disturb this plan clearly. I hope my point is very clear. I clearly mentioned one point that using temporary variables we can swap. Immediately I told using addition, subtraction, or multiplication, division also we can swap. I told that point. I think you're not following clearly. Please don't interrupt my the demonstration. If you already know, please keep it with you. If you have any doubt which is very important, you can raise the doubt in the chat. I hope it is clear for you. Right. Uh, the next one is print B. So let's go with again. So A value 10, 20, and B value 10. Perfect. So there are many mechanisms we have to swap the variables. I clearly told immediately after using the temporary variable, I told you can plus variable, minus variable, A is equal to A plus B, B is equal to A minus B. We can use multi-var. So everyone is expert only, but they'll say I don't know programming language. But when because everyone knows everything, but when it come to execution, they'll not remember everything. That's the point here. So please follow everything clearly, right? If you already know, you can use in your what we call application development and all. But so these are the basics part. Maybe some people are very beginners; they don't know anything. So for them, this session is meant for that for them. So there is a function called as ID function. Let me use that ID function. It returns it returns the unique. It returns the identity. It returns the identity unique identity that is called as memory reference of an object of an object during its lifetime. For syntax will be ID of a specific object. Let me use here. I think let's do one thing. Let me comment these lines. I'll start using single lines comments. Control slash you can use directly to come to in the VS Code. It is not possible in ideally. Ideally, we have to comment individually. So control slash. Now, for example, x is equal to 100. X is equal to 100. Print of. Let me print unique identifier of x, the memory representation. Print of. So let me execute this. Python space. So this is the unique ID for this variable. We call it as a memory reference also. Memory reference also. The number will be varies. What we call the actual number varies. This is not specific to the system. It will varies from the system by system, and even for the execution. For every execution, it will be changed. And we already discussed about type function, right? Returns returns the data type of an object. We already discussed about that, right? Of an object. It is that we already discussed about that. So as of now, we discussed about the variables and the assignments, the swapping of variable, ID function, the type function, and all. So I think we discussed already type function also, type of, I think, yeah, type of A, type of B, type of Boolean also we have checked. I think let me just check with the Boolean also. I think flag is equals to, let's do one thing. Let me comment this. Just simply write flag is flag or any variable. Like let me take walls. Print of type of Boolean. Like. Now let's talk about the input output in the Python. That is very important. After that, we can just go to control statements. The very interesting part, input and output. As of now, we talked about the output part only. Let's talk about the input. So everyone knows that input is the data provided by the user to a program during the execution, like enter name, enter age, enter salary, like that. So in Python, we have a function called as input function. Input function. So the syntax will be input of here. You enter the prompt message. That prompt message will be displayed to the user. So user will enter the value by looking at the message. Is it important? Not important. Just you can keep input also, but just keeping input is like the cursor will blink like anything. The empty screen will be displayed. So in order to know the message, what exactly he or she has to enter. So we need to mention the string message also. Enter A, enter B, like that. Okay. So let's go with a simple example. Here, let's go with the input of enter your name. I'm not saving every program into multiple files. If it is that is the case, already 10 files will be there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just running every example in one single file only by commenting the previous code. Okay, but you create multiple files, 1.py, 2.py, 3.py, 4.py, like that. So enter name. But whenever we give enter name, in which variable we have to save this? Let me just save it to name. Okay. Now after saving it, so let's just print that value name. Okay. Now here, let me execute. Enter your name. Let me give Surya. Like perfect. I think I just want to give colon here. Okay. I want to print the name also, man. Type also. Let's check. What will the by default value, by default type of the input? That is string. String. For example, if I give enter your name as 123, it is still existing. That means very important. By default, the input method will take string as return type. String. Very important. Input function. Input function always returns a string. For example, same code, let me comment and let me give it as 8. Enter your age, print age, type age. The problem is if it is string, I can enter anything, right? If it is, and let me just tell you one thing. If I want to read age, that should be number. But the problem is I can enter, for example, Surya also at the age. It is taking. I can enter 23 also, it is string. But age should be integer, right? So in that case, we need to convert the string type into the integer part or float part. That is the decimal part, right? So for that purpose, what we're doing, whatever the value you read by using input, you convert into integer by using, like we call it as typecasting. Typecasting is nothing but converting one type into other type. Converting one type into other type. So now let's just print the type of the age now after converting your value. So now let me enter, for example, now 23. Now it is integer. Perfect. But for example, if I enter Surya, it is undefined. Why it is undefined? We got error, value error, because the number part, the 23 double quotes 23 or 23 can be converted to integer, right? But Surya or Surya 123 can't be converted to integer, right? Because it contains both number part as well as integer part. So if the string contains only numbers or string means 23 double quotes, right? Anything in double quotes is called a string, man, right? It may be only numbers or it may be numbers plus characters, anything. So you be careful while reading the value. So let's don't read a value with the characters and all. It should contain digits only while reading integer input or float input. So as I said, you can take float also. So if I take float, for example, what will be the problem with only int in the sense? Like if I read, for example, one second. If I read, for example, 23.5, give me one second. I think the problem will be invalid. It is a 23.5 is only for float numbers, but I'm reading integer values, right? So you have to give integer only. So for example, if I give 23.5, yeah, float value, perfect. Now, how to read multiple inputs? How to read multiple inputs? reading multiple inputs is very important. So if I want to read five values or six values like that, a comma b, I think already talked about. Uh, we have one function called as map function. Map, okay, map function, map of integer comma, because every value must be converted to integer. Input of enter two numbers. After entering two numbers, you split. Generally, split will happen with a space by default. Now let's print the addition of two numbers a plus b. Clear. Enter two numbers. Let me give 30 space 40, 17. If I give 30 comma 40, what will happen? You get error because the split is by default at space. If I give comma, for example, comma, let's do that. Split of comma. Clear the screen. Let me close this Python shell and I'll be going with command prompt. 30 comma 40, 70 comma. So by default, the split will happen at space. Space. Perfect. Map function. Map is a iterable object. So number of values will be iterated. The first value will be saved in A and the second value will be saved in B. This is called as multiple, what we call reading multiple inputs. Now coming to output function, everyone knows that output function in Python is print of something. Print is used to like multiple functions. So for example, let me comment this. If I use name is equal to Surya or age is equal to 20, status is equals to false. I can print individually or I can print multiple in one single line also instead of using three print statements. Age, print of status. I want to go within one single statement name comma. You can use name comma age comma status. Like this we can use. So let's check the output. Yeah. Surya 20 falls individually and then in one single line. Automatically one space is there. Like we have a separate parameter, separate parameter. So separate parameter means it specifies the it specifies the separator between multiple lines. For example, print of I want to use I want to print Java, Python, double quotes, Python, next SQL, which is separator of. If I don't use separator, what will happen? I think space will be automatic separator. Perfect. But I want to use a separate other one instead of using comma. Let me use hyphen. Perfect. Next, we have a end parameter. End. End parameter specifies what should be printed after the output. After the output. Print of, for example, hello, hello. After the output, after every line, what is supposed to print? That is my end parameter. Comma end is equals to some space I want to print. Okay. Then print of world. So hello space. I think default is new line slash n. Let me remove this. If this is the case, world will be printed in new line. Yeah. So slash n is by default. End is equals to slash n is default. New line. Every multiple print statements will print outputs in multiple statements. But I want to Let me give end is equals to kind of a, let me give as a star, then perfect. We have some escape characters, very important in the separator and the end part. Escape characters. Slash n is for new line, that is a by default. No need to use separately. Slash t is for tab space. One space will be there. Slash is for backslash, not print one. It is a backslash. Forward slash and backslash, two slashes will be there. We have to use backslash. Next, this is for single quotes and this is for double quotes. For example, let's use print of Java /n Python /n SQL. Why there is a slash? I'll tell you one important point. Now we got a slash n means new line. If there is no slash, for example, the n will be normal n, like a normal character along with other text. But n should be recognized specially. That's why slash n. When we add slash only, it will have some meaning. If you don't have slash, that character will be merged with other characters. Simple. I can use T also. T is for tab space. Let's check that. Perfect. I think I missed N here, Python. Yeah. Okay. Next one is string formatting. Very important. String formatting. People, old style formatting is something like a percentage %d used for integer. Like for example, age is equal to 28. Print of age is equals to percentage %d. Int of this percentage will print age like this here. Is equal to 28. This is a old style format. Okay. And some people will use percentage %f also for float, used for float, decimal point. Let's use the same. This is salary. Previous one is integer. This is salary 25,000.50. Let me print salary is equals to f is for float. The variable name is salary. Right. Float. After dot, there are 6 digits. Yeah, up to. We can control the decimal spaces also. I don't want to print that many number of spaces after dot. 50 means 502 decimal points only. Why it is printing extra 4 zeros also? Because we have only 2 decimal points only, right? So let's just control the decimal places. How to do that? So I have to confine to up to 2 spaces, right? So let's use point 2. Perfect. Point 2. Point 2 is for 2 spaces. Percentage, yes, used for string. And percentage C used for character. These are old style formats. In C, we used to have, right? Percentage X for hexadecimal. We have octal numbers, hexadecimal numbers, and like that. Percentage O is used for octal numbers. Hexadecimal numbers means every 4 binary numbers will be grouped into will be grouped merged into one group. In octal, every three binary numbers will be grouped into one number, right? But now the latest style, people will start using format function. So this is what we are using currently, not just percentage the percentage f and all. So how to use format number? Name is equal to Surya and age equal to 28. Now let me just start using format functions. Print of, print of. I want to print like this. Name is equals to something, okay, space. Age is equal to something. You just put it in clever braces. And now use dot format of. There are two braces we have. In the first place I want to print name. In second place I want to print age. Okay, right. So here you can just you write anything here. For example, just write Surya, Kiran, K, full stack, anything. Within double quotes you can write anything. Anything you can write. So whatever that brace is, that curly brace will be identified as a variable. So you can format accordingly. Next one is named arguments. Next one is named arguments. Same line, let me just print like this. Print of name is equals name colon. The variable will be name. Without writing anything here, like directly in the, let's comment this. I'll put everything in one single line. Name is equal to curly brace name and age is colon age. Now let's just extend this line with the format by using dot format of. Let's give the values also directly here. Name is equals to Surya, comma, age is equal to 28. These where you can directly mention the values also. In previous, I only given two variables names as arguments. Here I mentioned the values also by equals operator, assignment operator. Right. The next one is F string. People start using this F string only. It was introduced in Python 3.6 version onwards. F string. Now people are actually using either format or most of the developers will use F string only. How to use that? Name is equal to Surya. Age is equal to 28. Print of whatever you're writing, you write everything in double quotes. I want to write name is curly brace name variable and age is age. But the problem is like if I compile everything, everything will print as a string. So directly name age is printing, but I want to print the values, right? So simple thing. Now just add F here. So now the variables will be identified or recognized. Now instead of name, Surya will be printed. Instead of age, 28 will be printed. Right. Next important one, let's check about important one, data types. Data types. A data type specifies the type of value. So even though we are not using data type in declaring a variable, but we need to know what type of value we are assigning. So for that purpose, we have data type concept. First one is numeric. Under numeric, we have integer, float, complex numbers, a plus. Complex numbers means a plus ib part, real part and imaginary part, a plus ib. I is nothing but imaginary. Boolean part, true, false. String part, double quotes. List part, square braces. Tuple, tuple or tuple, normal braces. Set, curly brace. Dictionary, dictionary. Curly brace, but the key and value also there. But previous all data types only value will be there. In dictionary, key value. ID 101, name Surya. college, like KLU, like that. None. None means what? Nothing. Next one, type conversion. There are two types we have, implicit type conversion. Python automatically, Python automatically converts smaller types into larger compatible types. Example, A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 5.5. Print of A plus B. The answer is 15.5 because A is integer, B is float. Automatically, even though there are two different types, automatically it will be typecasted. Next one is explicit. Explicit means programmer needs to convert manually. Like previously, I used int float methods, right, to convert string type into integer, string type into float manually. We have integer, like for example, print of. We can use int of 10.8 like that. So int of 10.8 means the answer will be 10. Next one is float. Float of 10 means the answer will be 10.0. After dot, maybe two zeros, three zeros will be printed based on the compiler of your system. Next one is string. String of 100, the answer will be double quotes 100. I mean string part. This 100 is in the string part. 100 is generally normally number, right? But when you convert into 100, 100 will be in double quotes. Next, boolean of 1 is true, and a boolean of bool is a function of 0 is false. Next one is complex. Complex of 5 is a real part. Imaginary part is there is no imaginary part, so it's 0 only j. For example, complex of 5 comma 2. 5 plus 2j. Let's print that. Print of complex of 5 comma 2. 5 is real part and 2 is imaginary part. Right. Super. 5 plus 2j. 5 plus 2j. Next, very important, operators. After that, we can just directly switch into control statements and then oops concepts and the operators and the file handling. These are the topics I'm going to cover today, but I'm very much focused on the basics only. Very important. These basics are very important for any programming language, maybe C, Java, anything. Operators, the first one is arithmetic operators. Plus, minus, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage, floor division, star. There is a very important difference between normal division and floor division. Let me do one thing. Let's take A is equals to 10, B is equal to 30. A 30, B 10. Print of A plus B subtraction minus multiplication, division, floor division, and power. Power. I cover totally six operators. I think I mentioned okay, six. Let's execute this. A plus B, A minus B, A into B, A divided B, A percentage. Percentage is nothing but module, right? Yeah. Remainder after quotient. So 20 is the answer for addition, subtraction, division. 30 into 20, 30 into 10, 300. 30 by 10, 3.0. 30 by floor division. Floor division means after that there is no decimal point. That is the difference between division and floor division. Division means after dot decimal points will be displayed. But floor two double slash backslash means after dot decimal points will not be displayed. Next one is star star. 30 power 10. Some 59049, a big number is there. A A mod B. A mod B is like 30 mod 10, 0. The reminder, reminder 0. Next one is assignment operator. Assignment operators. Single assignment, shorthand assignment operator plus equals, minus equal, star equal, division equal, floor division equal, module division equal, I mean, mod equal, power equal. What is this plus equal? We call it a shorthand assignment operator. Plus equal. That means A plus or I plus is equals to 2, for example, then people will start writing here I is equal to I plus 2. Simple. That is called a shorthand assignment operator. Okay. Comparison operators. Comparison operators. Comparison operators. Do you know double equals for equal operation? Greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to, not equals to. Logical operators, like for the multiple conditions, you can use this and or not. Bitwise operators can be performed on binary numbers, 100s, bitwise and, bitwise or, bitwise not, that is one's complement. Bitwise not is something like 1 will be converted to 0, 0 will be converted to 1. Bitwise not is not one's complement. The tilde operator is one's complement. Tilde operator. Tilde operator. This is like left shift. This is like right shift. You can shift the numbers, binary numbers from one position to other position, either towards left direction or towards right direction. Membership operators. We can check whether it belongs to that list or not by using in operator or not in operator. Example, let me take a list. Number of 10 comma 20 comma, we call it as a list. Okay, let's take numbers is the list 10, as I said in my data types, 10, 20, 30. Shall we print the type also for the understanding purpose? Yes, of course, type of numbers. Now let's check whether 10 is present or not. 10 in numbers. Let's check whether true or false or present or not. So type is list and true. True because 10 is there. If I give 45, 45 is not there, false. Right. Next, identity operator. Like to check for the equality or not. To check the whether two numbers are equal or not, two types are equal or not by using is not, is not. Example, let's take numbers is equals to 10, 20, 30. Let's take numbers 1 is equals to numbers. Okay. Print of, let's check whether numbers is equal to numbers 1 or not by using numbers list is numbers 1. True. That is called as is identity. Next one is operator precedence, or we call it as priority also. We need to go to highest to lowest priority. First will be braces will be there, parenthesis. Okay. Next power. Next star or division, floor division, module percentage. Next addition subtraction will be there. You can go to cheat sheet of precedence, operator precedence, very important. So when your expression contains multiple operators, from where we have to begin the operation. That is what precedence is. Next comparison operator will be next priority, and then not, and then and then not. These are the main operators. There are many operators we have. Some built-in functions we have. We already discussed about this. Let me discuss again. First one is length of length. Length of Python is not a variable, so it should be in double quotes. Otherwise, I need to declare. Next one, type. Type is one of the built-in function, type of 100. Next, ID. I think we already discussed about ID. Unique reference numbers will be displayed. Next, help. I want to know the description of the print function. Next, dir, directory of str. We need to put it in print function. These are the different built-in functions. There are many built-in functions. I'm focusing on these four. We already discussed at the beginning. I think help and directory I added now. So 6 is the length of the Python, 100 is integer, ID is the 100 ID is this one, and help. So complete description of the help is there. It is showing more in the sense, yeah. I think let me just print directory separately, right? These are the different string related directories or the attributes, properties, everything. So dir, okay. Next one is name. Every Python file has a special built-in variable called underscore underscore two underscores name. When when a Python file executes, when a Python file is executed directly, for example, let me execute a file called as, name called as underscore. One second. Let me stop. So, underscore underscore name underscore underscore. Let's talk about the name. It's a built-in variable. Okay. So name is equals to main only. So why we got this? So name by default name is equals to main, because if the same file is imported into other, generally name is a your main only. That means you're in the single file only. You're not importing anything. If the same file is imported to into another module, for example, then that module name will be displayed. Okay, will be module name will be printed instead. Why name? Suppose you create a file called as calculator.py. Okay, you don't want to you don't want the test code inside it to run every time it is imported into another program. If name is equals to main, for example, this condition ensures that a block of code runs only when the file is executed directly, which is by default executed directly, not when it is imported as a module. When it is imported as a module. Example, see, let's talk about the function. In Python, we have to define a function using def keyword. Def. Let me define a variable function called as a comma b colon. Indentation space we have to use to start the block. Return a plus b. What is indentation and all? I already discussed at the beginning of my introduction. For example, I can directly write print of, if I write, for example, if underscore underscore name underscore underscore is equals to underscore underscore name, then print of add of 10 comma 20 30. If imported, for example, I didn't import anything. If imported only the add function is available and the print statement doesn't execute. Print statement doesn't execute. So name is nothing but the name is nothing but a variable. If the same file, if you are using same file, for example, if you're not in, so we'll discuss about this in depth in my module concept. As of now, by default, name is equal to main because you're not importing anything. You're not importing your program into other file. Okay. In the import, I'll clearly talk about this. Okay. So I completed my module one successfully, like where I discussed about introduction, variables, operators, everything, input function, output function, everything. Now let's start our module two in next 2 minutes. So we'll discuss about that name is equal to main clearly in my import module concept clearly. At that moment, you will clearly understand what exactly the purpose of that name main. As of now, we didn't import anything in my files, so my name variable will be main only. Okay, by default, the main only. Only for understanding purpose, I given you some example. Like let's talk about the module two. Module two. Here in the module two, I'll be more focusing on the control statements. Okay, will be very interesting. Control statements. Control statements. So these are statements. As of now, if there are 10 lines of code or 15 lines of code, as of now, if there are as of now, if there are 3 lines of code or 4 lines of code, like uh, uh, like every line will be executed continuously without any condition. But in the control statements, based on the condition, the statements will be good. So statements that controls the flow of execution of the program. They determine which statements should be executed and and which statement should be repeated. Like we use like loops concept or skipped based on conditions. Without control statements, the problem will be all lines will be executed. Without control statements, a program executes statements sequentially from top to bottom. Types of control statements. The first one is uh, decision making statements. We also called as conditional statements. Example if, simple if, just if only, there is no else. Next one is if else. Next one is else if ladder. We call it as if with else if is called as elif in the Python, not else if. Next one is nested if within the if. Next one is a match case also. Match case, that is a switch case kind of thing. It was introduced from Python 3.10 version onwards. Next one is looping statements. Looping statements, also called as iterative statements. We have a for loop, we have while loop. Of course, we have a do while loop, but do while loop will not be used in Python specifically. While loop with exit condition will be used. So only mainly two, while and do for loop. Third one is there are some jump statements we have, other statements we have continue, we have break, and we have pass. So let's see the example for if first of all. So if statement. If statement, for example, let me just take a simple program. I want to read let me see the program of if initially. So my program is, let me just read integer value. So how to read integer value? First, we need to give enter input, enter a value. But this input method will take only string type. We just need to convert into integers or int of input, right? Perfect. The point is, check whether this number is negative or not. If it is negative, for example, the block the block must be started with the indentation space colon. You can't just directly start in the next line instead. Automatically, you got four spaces indentation, right? As I said in the beginning. Never ever don't use kind of a curly brace concept in the Python. It is not allowed in the Python language. You have to use, for the block starting and ending, you have to use colon. Next line, you can't start here because the block will be started within the if, not along with the if. So within the if, in the sense, one, two, three, four lines automatically enter. If any number is negative, for example, convert into positive. How to convert the number into positive? Just multiply the number with minus and assign again it to n. Okay. Now the n value changed to n, or you guys can use math.abs also, absolute value, mod value. And now finally you print n value. Let's see. So what will happen exactly? First it will take 5, 5 less than 0, false. So 5 value will be printed. Minus 5 less than 0, true. Minus of minus 5, 5, n is equal to 5. So n value 5. So we are only concentrating on negative numbers. We are directly printing the positive numbers. Perfect. It's very nice code. So let's execute this. Enter a value. Let me give minus 5. Perfect. 5. If I give 3, for example, 3 directly. I'm not at all focusing on the I'm not at all focusing on the positive numbers. I'm focusing on the negative numbers only. Instead of this, you can use n is equals to math dot. You can't use math directly here. Let's just use ABS. Sorry, not app, just ABS directly. ABS of n. Right. Let's check. Minus 4. 4. Let's put a column. I think you can give some. You can give, for example, if I just want to give 0, let's take whether it is taking the by default value as 0, not taking. Instead of that, we can take var or my by default value is 0, for example. When I don't provide any value, n value 0, or let's take r 0. If I don't provide any value, then 0 value will be taken. 0 means it's not positive, it's neither positive nor negative. Perfect. For example, 10 as my default value. Okay. I don't want to enter anything. 10. Perfect. So this is a simple if. Simple if is something like we'll focus on only the condition, uh, which condition is true only. There is no else part. Okay. Now let's go with if else statement. Let's read the in int of input of enter a value. Let me check this is even or odd. N mod 2 is equals to 0 column. Print of we can use format, right? We'll do one thing. Even let's just go with the simple steps and then I'll use format. Else indentation with if colon print art. Let's run this. Enter a value 20. Okay. Enter a value 5 odd number. But I want to use a format like this. N is even. That is 2 is even or 3 is even like that. Here also N is even. We already discussed about this format already. Let's put a colon here after enter value or equals to better. Enter a value 20. 20 is even. Perfect. Let's go with eligible for vote or like enter age if it is greater than equal to 18. I think we have to take float because 18.2 in the sense 18 years 2 months, right? Let's go with float also because decimal points are there. This variable age, you can give any variable, that's up to you. Let's read the name also. I'll tell you why I just read name. String only, so directly input. Enter name, age name. If age is greater than equal to 18, then that the specific name is eligible to vote. If not, not eligible to vote. Enter name Surya, age 18. Surya is eligible to vote. Enter age 17 point name 17.5. Enter age 18.0. Eligible to vote. Okay, perfect. So if else. Next one is nested if else, or we call it as nested if statement. That means if within the if. If within the if. Example, if I take a age as 22 and my citizenship is true initially. If age is greater than equal to 18, as well as if if citizenship if citizenship either is equal to true, you can check like this, print of eligible to vote, eligible to vote. Multiple if conditions. But what if I just want to put else condition also? Then elif will be there. You don't need to write citizen double equals to like this. You can directly write if citizen, because if citizen means citizen is a true. If true, true block will be executed. If false, false block will be executed. Next one is if elif, that is else if, else ladder. For example, let's take marks input of enter marks. If marks greater than equal to 90, then print of grade A. Else people generally use else if, right? Here we have to use elif. Marks greater than equal to 75. Print of grade B. Again elif. Marks is greater than equal to 60, 60 grade C. Else, if the previous conditions are not satisfied, for example, then he's failed. Let's check this. I think what exactly happened. What what is the condition we written? Greater than greater than 90. Let me give 90, 91 grade A, 89 grade B, 58, no, no, 58 grade C. Oh, 58 is less than 60. Fail. Instead of elif, if I use else, if separate like this, I think this will be a problem. So use elif only. So like this, you can do many examples. So let's talk about the loops now. I think match case statement is there, right? Yeah. So match case statement. I'm discussing only one program for each syntax. So at the end, I mean later in the next live class, we can do multiple programs on it for the interview purpose and all. But now, as time is limited, if I do like this, like the session will be continued till midnight also. So let's focus on the one program for each, because the if you know the syntax, you can do any program, right? So match case statement. This is Python 3.41. Like for example, let me enter day number. Okay, enter day. Okay, 1 or 2 or 3. 3 days I'm writing. Match day. Okay, case one. If it is case one, print it as Monday. If it is case two, print of Tuesday. If it is case three, print of Wednesday. If it is case underscore is nothing but default case. So invalid day. Underscore is nothing but, let me write here like as important point. Underscore means default case. That is nothing. If 1, 2 are not dissatisfied, then it is nothing. So let's check. 1 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 invalid day. So it's like a switch case. So you can perform addition operation also using this, like Let's enter two numbers A, B. Here, enter first value, in, input of enter second value. Now here, choice, enter choice, one for add and two for sub. Only two operations I want to write. So match of choice. Case one will be, you can use plus or we'll do one thing. Plus for add, minus for sub. Then you no need to convert into string, right? Because plus minus comes under string only, right? So plus only two cases. Third case is invalid choice. This plus should be in double quotes. Plus should be in double quotes. Minus, instead of print of Monday, let's keep print of A plus B. Because when user choose plus, addition will be performed A minus B. Enter first value 20, enter second value third, choice plus 50. Perfect. If you want to continue this, then you put that in the loop. So we didn't start loops yet. We'll discuss that. 30, 40 minus 30, 40. Let me enter some random choice, invalid choice. Perfect. Let's talk about while loop. So you know that every loop contains three expressions. First one is initialization expression, I is equals to 1. We call it as initialization expression. Okay. Next, while of, you don't need to give braces for the condition I less than or equal to 10, for example. Print of I. Let's increment the I. There is no plus plus minus minus. Let me write here. There is no plus plus or minus minus. We have to use shorthand assignment operator. Like there is no plus plus and minus minus in the Python. We can't use like that. So we have to use plus equals to or minus equals to. So I plus equals to 1 or I is equal to I plus 1. This is nothing but conditional expression. This is nothing but update expression, either increment or decrement. Here it is increment. So what while do? Initially we have to assign the, initially we have to initialize the value using I. 1 less than equal to 10, true. The while body will be executed and then I value will be updated with 1. Now 2, again 2 less than equal to 10. Like that it will be printed up to 10. Let's check. So answer is 1 to 10, 1 to 10. For example, if you just forgot to update this, let me just put hash here. I don't want to update. So always the I value will be 1 and it is an infinite loop. It's infinite loop. Okay. So very important. Update expression is very important. Next, sum of first n numbers. Let's read the n. Int of input of enter n value or enter num number, whatever it is. Colon. Let's initialize with 1, sum as 0, while I less than equal to n, Sum is equal to sum plus I, no need of semicolon. Print of, I need to print at the end of the while loop, right? So let's increment I plus is equals to 1. At the end, print of total sum is equals to comma sum. Okay, 55. Okay. Instead of this, you can print like this also. Print of f curly brace total sum is equals to double quotes sum. 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay. Like this, we can do multiple programs. If the condition is true only, the while loop will be executed. For example, if I write while of true directly, print of hello world. So what will happen? Condition you fix, condition is true only, always true. So it is an infinite loop. If I give false, for example, then nothing will be displayed. I can give here end of while loop. What will happen? End of while loop. This will be never code is not endless because the condition is statical. I mean this is unreachable code because while is false. The body is next one is for loop. Very important. We have to use a new function called as range. The for loop is used to iterate over a sequence such as string, list, tuple, dictionary, set, or range. The syntax is for we need to write a variable like generally people will write I. I is nothing but iterate variable, sequence, colon, some statements. For sequence, we have to use a function called as range function. Range function contains total three arguments: start value, stop value, and step value. Start is nothing but minimum. Stop is nothing but maximum. Step means the difference. Difference. So here for I in range of 1 comma 0. 1 comma 0. If I don't give anything, for example, if I try to print a 5, then let's see this. What will happen exactly? There is empty arguments now. What will be the by default values? We'll check accordingly. At least one argument it is expected. So for example, what is that exactly one argument is accepting is, let's give 5. If I give 5, for example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that means range of 5 means the 5 will be stop. Then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Step will be 1 by default. Okay. Now, for example, let's give start value also 1 comma 5. 1 will be start and 5 will be stop. Am I correct? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 means it will take n minus 1 up to n minus 1. Let's give 6 for example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to start with 0, then 5 is enough because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 total 4 numbers. Okay. If we want to start with 1 and ends with 6, then take 7 here. Let me read n value, int of, input of, enter n value, 10. So 1 to 9 numbers. Okay. Start with 1 because I've given start. Now let's give difference as 2, step value 2. So 1 to n with a difference of 2 will be printed. Let's give 5. The answer will be 1, 3. 5 will not be printed because the n value up to this will be considered up to n minus 1 only, not up to n. N will not be included, n minus 1 only. N minus 1 only, very important. Next, let's see string traversal. Let's take name is equal to Python. And I want to traverse like per character in name. Print of ch. Let me traverse, let me iterate my string using character like this Python. Now, this name is nothing but Python. Now, the start value, it is something like, so Python length will be considered. So the length of Python is automatically will be calculated like 6, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 characters. So 0 to 5 total. You can print the I value also. I'll show you the I value. I value comma ch value will be printed. We'll see. I want to show you I value also. 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 5 only because n minus 1. Once again, sorry, not I value. Let's do one thing. If I give I, for example, then I think I can print name of I. Let's see. It's a string, right? It's a string. Let's do one thing. Ch name only. Ch. Okay. Next, the list traversal. Let's take a list. Numbers 10, 20, 30, 40. For every number in numbers. Sorry, you can't print numbers directly. It is num. Right. So we discussed about range, right? So initially, so as I mentioned, range is used to mention sequence. If you don't give it, it expects at least one argument that will be considered as stop. Two arguments means start and stop. Three arguments means start, stop, and step. Difference between this. For example, if I print for I in range of 1 to 10 numbers I want to print. So up to take 11 and 1. 1 to 10. Okay. Print of I. You can't 11 means up to n minus 1. Reverse, if you want to print reverse, for example, the we need to reverse the start and stop values. So 11 here 1 and minus 1. Minus 1. So reverse. So here you need to mention 0. Let's start with the 10. Perfect. So it will print from 10 to 0. 10 to 1, sorry, 10 to 1. 0 will not be included. So if step is positive, then start to towards start generally start will be minimum and stop will be maximum. If step is negative, then stop will be minimum and stop will be minimum. You need to reverse the numbers, that's all. It is minimum to maximum, max to minimum. Simple. First argument will be minimum and min to max. Here max to min. So in the if the step is negative, the first argument expectation will be maximum value, not the minimum value, because we are decrementing the value, right? Next, the nested loops. A loop within the loop. For I in range of 3. For I in range of 3 in the sense start value will be 0, step value will be 1. So 0, 1, 2. For j in range of 3, same. So let's print of I immediately after that j value. Right. Next one is jump statements. Let's go with the continue jump statements. Very important. N is equals to int of input of enter n value. Let's write for I in range of 1 comma n plus 1 because I want to print that n also n plus 1. If if I is equal to 5, for example, I want to break. Okay. Or else let's continue. Let's continue to print our I value. 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then entire loop will be terminated. The loop got terminated. Very important. If it is continue, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 iteration will be skipped and it will be continued from 6 onwards till 10. Okay. That is the difference between break and continue. Pause in the sense, I don't want to write anything in this if block. Okay, let me just remove this. In the C, C++, everything and all, you can make this empty block. There will be no problem. But in the Python, it will be showing as an error, like indentation error. So in that case, just put pass. If you don't want to writing, I want this block should be empty, then write pass, simple. Enter and value. So nothing will be executed. 1 to 10 numbers will be printed. So continue is nothing but to skip that iteration. Break means whenever condition is passed, from that the entire loop will be terminated. Pass means empty block. So we discussed about loops, while loop, for loop and range function and all. So let me just talk it about the module 3, which is related to functions. Functions. So what is function? Function is nothing but it is a named block of reusable code that performs a specific task. So writing the same code multiple times, instead of writing instead of writing the same code multiple times, we write it once inside a function and we can call whenever we need. The disadvantage advantage is something like reusability. So what are the advantages of functions? Very important. Of course, we can reuse the code whenever we want. Easy maintenance because the code will be divided into a number of functions instead of multiple lines of code in one single file. Code duplications will be like reduced. Readability will be increased. Easy testing. Modular programming. The program will be divided into multiple modules. Right. Types of functions. The first one will be built-in functions. That means the functions are already there in the programming language. We can use them directly. Print function, input function, length function, type function, match, min, sum, etc. For example, let's see an example. Let's take a numbers 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's print length numbers. Print of match of numbers. Print of minimum of numbers. 3 is the length, 3 is the maximum, 1 is the minimum. Perfect. Next one is user-defined functions. Functions created by user or developer. The user or developer, or some people will say programmer. I can create my own program. Example, in Python, so every function will have function definition and function call. Syntax. How to define a function in Python? Simple. Just use def keyword, put some function name, you give some arguments within the braces, some four indentation spaces, some statements will be there, one after the other. And if you want to call the function, just call the function by using function name. If there are no arguments, leave it empty or just like put like this, or you just give the arguments like this. Example, def. Welcome is the function name, no arguments. I want to write welcome to Python. If I execute this program, nothing will be executed because we defined the function, but the problem is we didn't call it. Okay, so let's call this function out of. If you call before the definition, for example, it will be undefined. Okay, you need to call the function after the definition of the function. So welcome. So def is used to define the function. If I want to call this function multiple times, I can call three times the function will be called. Instead of writing welcome to Python three times, I can put that code in one function and can call whenever we need it. That is the definition of the function. Py or Python can be used. The execution flow will be program will start, function will be defined like our variable. Next, function called, and then function executes. Finally, the value will be written to the caller, whoever called the function. Because one function can call other function also, right? Next one is parameters and arguments. What is parameter? It is a variable that defines, that is declared, sorry. It is a variable declared in the function definition. What are the arguments? What are the variables are using in the function definition called as parameters? Argument. Function call. It is the actual value passed while calling the function. Let's start using arguments and all. Def display is my function. Let me just use one argument. Argument or parameter? Parameter is a function. Parameter. Name is a parameter. Print name. Let's call the function using. So you can read the Surya also if you want. If you want to read the Surya, then name is equals to input of like this. So I just directly assign. We call it as I initialize directly. Okay. So here name is the parameter, Surya is the argument. If you want to write, display like student name is equal to something like this, then student name multiple parameters. Okay. Then def. Let me just create a function called as student, which contains two parameters. One is name, next one is age. Let's print a name first and then age. Let's call student of name is Surya and age 25. Right. Surya 25. Let's do another program. Def. Let's add two numbers using function print sum is equals to a plus b. Print of sorry, add of 10 comma 20. So function will be called. It will go to the function definition. A value will be 10, b value 20, sum is equal to 30. Okay. Let's use return statement now. I want statement to be written using return keyword. The value will be written. For example, why we have to print here? I want to print here. Then just use return keyword a plus b. If I run this, the problem will be nothing will be printed because there is no print statement. Now this function call will become the output. So simply write print of add of 10 comma 20 because it holds the return value. Function call will hold the return value. Will hold the return value from function definition. Or you can, instead of this, there's other way of writing here. You can save the value into a separate variable called as result and print of result. Profit. Let's return multiple values. Let's define a calculator program a comma b because function should be written. I want to return a plus b, a into a minus b, a into b. Then here add sub three variables. Let's call the function calculator with the two values 20 comma 30. Now print of add comma sub comma mul. See, I written three values by using separated by comma. So the answer will be 20 50 minus 10, 600. Okay. Function without return statement means print statement we have to use in the function definition. Next continuation. Types of arguments. Arguments means function call. Arguments are the actual values passed to a function when calling it. There are five types of, one second, def of add of a comma b, 1, 2, 3, 4, print of a plus b, add of 10 comma 20. Here is a one important note point that a comma b are parameters or parents and 10 comma 20 are arguments. There are totally five types of arguments. Five types. The first one is positional. What is position arguments? Values are assigned based on their position. It's a general traditional function approach. Example, let's define a function called as student, which contains name comma age. First one is print of name is equals to, I'm demonstrating position arguments for, then I'll go with remaining arguments. Name. Next one is let's print age separately. You can print in a single line also, that's up to you. I've already shown you how to print in different ways. It's almost 3 hours, man. Is anyone there? Can I get a hi in the chat? Is anyone there in the chat? It's been 3 hours nearly. 6 o'clock. Can I get a hi in this live chat? Let's call the function. Varshini, okay. Venkata Pradeep, okay. Let's pass Surya and the next one is 28. These are the position parameters because the values are assigned according to the position, according to the position. You can't give 28 comma Surya because I want first position could be for name and second position could be for age. The second one is keyboard arguments. Arguments are passed using parameter names. Order doesn't matter. Order doesn't matter. Let me just go with this. Everything is same. Let's keep let's just change the function call. It is age 28. I need to mention the variable name also here like this. Name Surya. These are keyword arguments. You are mentioning here. So wherever the position of age is there, so 28 will be assigned to age variable and Surya will be assigned to name variable. Perfect. Default arguments. You can give default values in the function definition itself, or I mean function definition itself. A default value is assigned to a parameter if no argument is passed, then Python uses the default value. For example, let's go with name comma age only. Actually, not name comma age. Let me just go with like this. Def. Let's take greet name. Print welcome space name. Let's call the function like greet. If I call this function like this, the problem will be error because type error. It contains one required position argument. If I just want to fix this error, I have to pass the argument like Surya. Then one position argument, one value passed, it is correct. Space is automatic correct. But if I just assign the value directly here, like Surya, then if I don't give anything here, perfect. If I give some value, my own value, so my own value will be taken. If I don't give value, Surya will be taken. If default argument is not there, then error will be printed. Perfect. Next, a variable length argument. Sometimes you don't know the length of the arguments you are passing, right? So we call it as star args. Star means minimum. Star means I'll tell you wait. Sometimes we don't know how many arguments user will pass. Star args allows us to receive multiple position argument. multiple positional arguments. Syntax will be def function name directly. Yeah, hi Cristiano. Let's do the example for this. Let's, I want to give numbers. Print off, I want to sum of numbers. Okay. I don't know the size of the numbers, so let's give add of 10 comma 20 first, add of 10 comma 20 comma 30 first, add of 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. Okay. Now, initially 10 20 length 2, 10 plus 20 30 is the answer. 10 20 30 length 3, sum is 60. 10 20 30 40 length is 4, sum is 40 or 100. So when you don't know the length of the thing, just put a star. Star means clean closure. Minimum length is 0 and the maximum infinity. Infinite. You can give any number of characters, even 0 also. But 0 means nothing will be what we call nothing will be printed because we are applying some value. Let's do what will happen if it is 0. Nothing. Perfect. It is 0. Sum is taking 0 if you don't give anything. Perfect. Next keyword variable length. Fifth type. Last type. Keyword. Keyword variable length arguments. We call it as star K W keyword args. Star keyword args receives multiple keyword arguments as a dictionary. Dictionary means curly brace with a key and a value. Example, let's see an example. Def of, let's take students, star details, print of details. Now let's pass like this student of initially name key's name and its value is Surya is equals to only. Second one, age is a second key, value is 28. Third one, city, Hyderabad. Students, sorry, unexpected name. It is star star. Sorry, sorry for the error. It is star star. So dictionary. In Python, this format is called as dictionary. Dictionary format. This is called as tuple or tuple. This is called as list. We'll discuss about in detail in next topic. And this is called as set. Let's give an example here. Def, another example for this star star EMP. For for every key and value in emp.items. Items means both keys and values. I want to print both key along with the value also. value employee of ID 101, name Surya, salary, age, let's take a salary, salary 50,000, age 28, right? So we got is ID 101, name Surya. It's like a distillery. Next one is variable scope. Scope determines where a variable is can be accessed within the function or outside the function. There are two types, local and global. Local variable means variables declared inside a function, accessible only within that function only. Example, I was talking about local variables here. Let's talk about display. Let me clear the terminal string clearly. Display name is equals to Surya. Let me call the function display, and I want to print the name like this. Now let's see what will happen. First, display function will be called. So in the display, name is equal to Surya, name will be printed. For example, I want to put the same print function in the after display. You got error because the name variable is declared within the display function, not outside of the function. So error, right? So name is not defined. Local variable. What is the error we got? Name error. So local variable can be accessed within the function only, not outside of the function. Global variable. Variables declared outside all functions. Accessible throughout the program. Example, let's take college, or one second. Let's take department, DEPT, CSC. Okay. Now I want to print department. Can I access? Yes, we can. We defined outside of the function. Next one is global keyword. Use it to modify a global variable inside a function. So whatever the variable you declared outside, you can change that variable, modify the variable within the function also. Count is equal to 0 as a one program. Let's take def increment global count. Let me put it as a let me make my count as a global. So count is equals to count plus one. Or you guys can take with the hash count plus equals to one also. That's up to you. Increment print of count. So now, for example, if I don't write this, if I write like this, is it possible? Not possible because the array can't access the local variable count where it is accessed with where it is not associated with the value. So we have to make global count. So now one count is got incremented to one. Without global, for example, if I see this program, I think I got error, right? I got error with unbound, unbound local error. Okay. Without global it is. Next one is recursive function. A function, a function calling itself, a function calling itself is called as recursion function. That means def display print of hello. Again, I'm calling display. So first, for the first, I need to call make function call outside of the function, right? So infinity recursion maximum relation depth x function calling itself. So you never ever call so you never you never execute recursive functions without base conditions. Let me just put some base conditions like this. Example, factorial fact of n. If n is equal to 0, n factorial is nothing but return 1, else return n into fact of n minus 1. Here you just need to put a column. Let's print off fact of 5. I think it is 120. So if there is no base condition like n is equal to 0, this program will be executed what we call continuously, infinite times. So I covered totally 3 modules today. My next remaining three modules will be three. I covered 3 modules: module one, module two, module three. My remaining 3 modules will be module four, which I'm going to cover is strings and data structures. Like I'll be talking about string methods, how to create string, how to display string, and I'm going to talk about data structures like list, tuples, dictionary, and set. And I'll be talking about the module 5, which is OOPS concepts, object-oriented programming concepts in Python, class, object, constructor, destructor, polymorphism, inheritance, etc. And my fourth module will be final module as part of this Python, core Python. I'll be talking about exception handling and file handling. In the individual, I just mentioned only overview of that module, but there are in-depth topics also will be discussed like our previous modules. Like so, this Python live will be continued in the next week, where remaining three modules will be completed. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. For more useful content, please follow our YouTube channel, Web Sadhana Samyoga, for all updates, important updates like notes, the upcoming sessions, the schedule, everything you can know it from the Instagram channel, Web Sadhana Samyoga. So so as I started Python, so I'll follow from now onwards. I'll follow two tracks. One track will be full stack application series. Already completed five sessions, five episodes as of now. Now it will be continued from today onwards, six, seven, eight, nine episodes till the completion of React with Spring Boot. And the next track will be Gen AI track. So after So Python is three modules completed. So I hope you understand this is already 3 hours now. So we'll continue the remaining three modules, the core Python in the next session. So please revise and do some practice on these programs. You do some practice in the internet also. There are multiple programs for the interview purpose. You practice, you check the syntax and you practice. Either way, I'll cover some 20 to 30 programs on all topics of Python in my next session. So thank you so much, and thank you for your support. Thank you all.